Momma Cuisine is about making great everyday meals with simple ingredients and basic cooking techniques, and I want to show you how. Now tell me that this doesn't look like a meal you would find in a restaurant. This show also highlights restaurants, foodies, artisans, and events to help me in my quest in making great everyday meals. So come join me. I'm Johanna Cook of Momma Cuisine. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Momma Cuisine. I am Johanna Cook. Today I'm going to make a recipe perfect for the holidays. It's Dijon and walnuts with shredded Brussels sprouts. I took here a pound of Brussels sprouts that I already started to shred. I know that with a lot of Brussels sprout recipes, you're used to seeing them blanched. We're not going to do that here because we shred it so finely. There's no need to blanch it ahead of time. So I went ahead and took the ends off and start shredding. I have a pan heated with about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And a Brussels sprout really just looks like a small little cabbage. A lot of people, it has a bad rap. A lot of people see it as a food that they don't enjoy eating, maybe from their childhood. But this recipe, I promise you, is gonna be your Brussels sprouts completely redone and not the Brussels sprouts you remember. So let's see here, I already got the pound of Brussels sprouts shredded, and you see it turns out a lot of shredded Brussels sprouts. I also have here 3/4 of a cup of chopped walnuts. I also have 2 shallots that I just thinly sliced, and a shallot looks like this. It's like a mini red onion, so a lot of mini versions of the original thing, but a shallot's actually much sweeter. If you don't have shallot in handy, go ahead and just use a little bit of red onions and slice it or dice it real thinly. That's a good substitute. And 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. All right, we're gonna add the garlic and shallots. It's about medium-high heat. You have to really move this around because it'll burn quite quickly if you don't keep an eye on it. And the shallot will start to caramelize and get even sweeter. And that garlic is gonna give it, of course, that awesome flavor. And I always say feel free to add a little bit more garlic if you're a garlic person and really enjoy that. And to this, later on, we're gonna add 1 to 2 teaspoons of Dijon mustard. 1 teaspoon is a good starting point. You could add up to 2. And a little bit of white wine, 1/4 cup of white wine. And white wine, like I always say, really gives that flavor that people will say, what is that? It tastes like something from a restaurant. And a lot of times, because a lot of restaurant food or food that you order from restaurants has a splash of red wine or white wine, it just really gives it an amazing flavor. You can use any wine that you have available at home. Pinot Grigio, I cook with a lot. A dry white wine like Chardonnay will be great too. So you see here, this is getting nice and crispy and caramelizing, and I'm just moving it around with my wooden spoon. And add our pound of Brussels sprouts to this. Now obviously this is going to cook down. It looks like a lot right now. You can hear that. You want to just toss that in. And the olive oil, it's kind of like a warm salad really. That olive oil, Dijon mustard, a little bit of wine later. And we're adding that walnuts for crunch. So toss that around. We're gonna let this cook down, get soft, 5 to 8 minutes. You'll see that it's starting to get soft. Not quite ready, but it's getting there. What we're gonna do is add our salt and pepper. We'll do 1 teaspoon of salt, a couple grinds of fresh ground pepper, 1/4 teaspoon. And the salt too will release any liquid also that's in there and help to make it more flavorful. Oops. And another 3 to 5 minutes. Let's go ahead and add our walnut. 3/4 cup of walnuts right in there. Oh, and look at that. It's looking awesome. 3/4 cup here goes a long way. And you could do up to a cup, sure. You can add a little bit more if you love that. Let's go ahead and add our Dijon mustard. We're just gonna kind of make a hole in there. 1 or 2 teaspoons. Okay, so maybe that's about 1.5 teaspoons. Let's toss this around. That was about 1 teaspoon. It doesn't have to be super exact. Toss all your Brussels sprouts so it gets coated with that Dijon mustard. Now we're gonna add that splash of white wine. 1/4 cup. Scrape the bottom of that pan and take any of those bits and pieces out. Lift it off that pan and use that flavor. And here you have it. Dijon and walnut with shredded Brussels sprouts. Perfect for your next get-together and holiday event. I'm gonna grab your spoon to serve with. Again, like I said, this is gonna be great with any roast that you have or even just a side. You could eat it by itself if you wanted to. This is a great recipe and I hope you try it. Thank you for tuning into this week's Momma Cuisine show. I hope you go check out the website mommacuisine.com to check out more recipes and subscribe to this channel. We'll see you again next week. Thank you.